I ain't got nobody. That's right, this episode, Young Frankenstein. Let's go. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Anthony and welcome to the Nerdy Harry channel's 31 Days of Horror Reviews. In this episode, as I said before, we're talking about the Mel Brooks comedy classic, Young Frankenstein. Now, if you haven't seen Young Frankenstein, let me just go ahead and tell you right now. I threw this out there today on Facebook. Should I do spoilers? Look, I'm doing spoilers in this one. If you've not seen Young Frankenstein, then man, you might as well just go ahead and turn this off. Because you're probably, like a friend of mine said earlier, you're probably not our demographic. But anyways, no, listen, I shouldn't say that. If you haven't seen Young Frankenstein, then you need to see Young Frankenstein. That being said, you better turn this off because I'm talking about how awesome Young Frankenstein is and some of my favorite scenes in the movie. But anyways, go ahead and get it started. Young Frankenstein is a Mel Brooks 1974 film. Now, Mel Brooks really had it going on that year. He also came out with Blazing Saddles. Now, a lot of people kind of argue which is Mel Brooks's best movie. There's Blazing Saddles, there's Young Frankenstein, you've got Spaceballs. I mean, to me, History of the World Part 1, you know, to me, Mel Brooks, just about anything he does is comedy gold. Now, for me personally, though, Young Frankenstein is his best movie. I mean, Mel Brooks, Gene Wilder, that's pretty much all you have to say. Now, Gene Wilder, from Willy Wonka, Stir Crazy, The Woman in Red. I mean, there's so many things that Gene Wilder's done. He's just amazing in himself. I mean, Blazing Saddles as well, that I mentioned earlier. So anyways, I thought what was really interesting in kind of studying up on Young Frankenstein is that actually Gene Wilder came up with the idea for the movie while they were filming Blazing Saddles. And actually Mel Brooks said that Gene Wilder should get top billing for writing since he come up with the ideal and come up with a lot of the gags for the movie as well. Now, I love Gene Wilder. I think Gene Wilder, as previously stated, is just a comedy genius, and he really shines in this movie. You know, he's not really supposed to be the comedic part of the film. I mean, I shouldn't say he's not supposed to be, because there's a lot of things that he does as comedy. But what I really like is that they let Marty Feldman, who is Igor, be the comedy. And you know, Marty Feldman to me steals the entire movie. As much as I love Gene Wilder, to me it's Marty Feldman is what makes Young Frankenstein. Like, without Marty Feldman, you know, Young Frankenstein is really good because it's just Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks. But like, Marty Feldman, just, man, every scene he has, he steals every scene. The hump, that's great. I mean, I love when, one of my favorite parts is when Gene Wilder is yelling up at him, and, you know, he's telling him to make sure to tie off the kite and all that stuff, and then he runs right back down to Gene Wilder. He's right behind him, and he's like, you know. So I love that scene. Some of my other favorite Marty Feldman scenes is obviously the I Ain't Got Nobody. That's my wife's favorite that I did at the beginning. I love that one.
I ain't got nobody, and nobody cares for me. Igor, Frederick.
I also like when he's sitting down and they're talking. He's talking with Frederick about what the advice his dad used to give to him. That's my probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie.
You know, I'll never forget my old dad. When these things would happen to him, the things he'd say to me.
What did he say?
What the hell are you doing in the bathroom day and night? Why don't you get out of there? Give someone else a chance.
But anyways, there's so many other people that's in this movie. You've got Terry Garr, Madeline Kahn, Peter Boyle, and even to this day, I can't see Peter Boyle. Like, even in Everybody Loves Raymond, he's just still the creature from Young Frankenstein. And so, but anyways, I love this movie. Some interesting things that I also found out by researching on this movie a little bit. Columbia Pictures did not want the movie to be in black and white. Now, can you imagine Young Frankenstein not being in black and white? That's like watching The Munsters without black and white. It just shouldn't happen. And so glad that basically I believe it was 20th Century Fox that stepped up to the plate to Mel Brooks and said, look, we'll give you even more money, and you know, you can do it black and white. All that we ask is that you sign. I think there was a 5-year deal that he had asked Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks to sign. And so to me, I'm so glad they stuck with the black and white format. It totally captures the old school feel of the old Universal movies, like The Wolfman and obviously Frankenstein. Another really cool thing is I believe it's Ken Strickfaden, who had a lot. He was like one of the original set decorators from the Frankenstein movie, was still alive when they did this movie in '74. So Mel Brooks got a hold of him, and he had most of the original lab equipment from Frankenstein in storage. And so he gave Mel Brooks permission to use all that stuff. So that's the original stuff that you see for the most part in the lab in Young Frankenstein. And it was really cool too is Mel gave him the props, I guess you could say, at the beginning with the credits. Now, this movie was so different too. I love how the putting on the Ritz, like that is great. And it's funny because originally Mel Brooks did not want that scene in there. So him and Gene Wilder really had it out over it, and really Gene just went off on him, and apparently he was just about in tears. And so Mel Brooks said, because you fought so hard for it, it's staying in the film. And it's one of my favorite scenes as well. Anyways, guys, this is a classic. I know this is just one of those movies that you can sit down, and whether it's been, you know, 1 week or 15 or 20 years since you've seen it, it's just always something else that you catch, and that it's just still funny to you. And like I said, to me, I love the original Universal horror movies, horror monster movies with Frankenstein, Wolfman, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon. And what I love is that Mel Brooks completely captured all of that and put his spin on it. And that's so hard to do, and he totally nailed that completely. So guys, if you haven't watched Young Frankenstein, then watch it and appreciate a classic. And if you have seen it before, then watch it again, because it should definitely be in not just your 31 Days of Horror movie selection. It should also just be in your top comedy selection. That being said, guys, thanks so much for watching this episode. I really enjoyed watching this again. I watched it with my boys actually for the first time, and they thought it was great. They loved Igor as well, so that was so cool to share that movie with them and watch that with them. So, alright guys, we'll see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching. Later.
Go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?